Welcome back. Rupees 1 crore. 1 crore is being spent by the Uttar Pradesh government in sending 8 state ministers and 9 legislators, part of the state's Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. That's what they call it. They will visit Turkey, Netherlands, UK, Greece and the United Arab Emirates to study parliamentary techniques in these countries for 18 long days. The legislators have already left for their first stop, Istanbul. They left on Tuesday morning. At the same time, Akhilesh Yadav tonight is at Safai at the Maha-Utsav that they have, where he is joined by Salman Khan and Madhuri Dixit. The UP government has already announced a special donation, they're calling it, a 1 crore rupees for Ded Ishqiya, the movie. Also, they will be exempting Ded Ishqiya of any kind of entertainment tax in Uttar Pradesh. This perhaps, returning the favor of Madhuri Dixit performing at this particular event. Not a single word has been said by the Akhilesh Yadav government as far as the riot hit victims of MuzaffarNagar is concerned. Is this about misplaced priorities? Is this about a government that is simply not even in any way concerned about what's happening to the riot hit victims? Do they think it is all about politics and not about governance? Joining me tonight on Newsnight, TSR Subramaniam, former cabinet secretary, right here with me in the Noida studio. Also Shehzad Poonawala, who's worked in Muzaffarnagar with the riot hit victims. We also have Sanjay Jha of the Congress party and Sudhanshu Mittal from the BJP. Let me start with you, Sudhanshu Mittal. Today, when news of this study tour that UP Netas have gone on came in, your party leader, Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, said, how can SPMLAs go on this study tour when young children are dying in Muzaffarnagar of the cold? I don't think Mr. Naqvi was aware of the fact that Simi Dwivedi of your party, she's a BJP MLA, she's also on this study tour. Are you aware of that fact, Mr. Mittal?
I have just been informed about this.
And what is your reaction, Mr. Mittal? I
think we are looking at the issues together while they should be separately looked at. First, the
what does that mean, Mr. Mittal, that we should be looking at the issue together?
Allow me to explain.
Yes, please do.
I would seek your indulgence in giving me 1 minute to just elaborate.
1 minute is too long.
Each of the 3 issues which you have mentioned. Okay, 30 seconds, miss. Muzaffarnagar riot victims, their plight is a separate issue which needs to be looked with great concern. Safai's extravaganza, private fiefdom of the lords of UP is a separate issue. The going on a junket by the MLAs of UP is a separate issue. All 3 of them should be separately debated. There's no reason why we should be interlinking all 3 of them.
Mr. Mittal, may I come in? May I come in? No, may I come in at that point? Because it is your party members, from Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi down to everybody else in your party, who has clubbed all the issues together. Not just in this television debate, as you would call it later. They have said that how could there be a grand finale, a Bollywood extravaganza in Safai when kids are dying? And how could, in the same breath, these netas have gone on this junket or study tour when children are dying in Muzaffarnagar? You club the issue. Suddenly, as the BJP has realized their own member is part of the study group, suddenly you want to separate the issues. Why? The issue is the same, that there is absolutely no concern as far as the political class is concerned to the people who are dying in Muzaffarnagar. All that you are concerned about is politics, playing politics.
I don't think you've really given me an opportunity to explain what I'm saying.
I'm giving you the opportunity now.
And I would be grateful in case, yeah, please. First, Muzaffarnagar riot victims being neglected is an outcome of the communal politics of SP. After Mulayam Singh ji says that they are agents of Congress and BJP, what else would you expect out of them? A rank insensitive government naturally has to neglect this because, as Mulayam Singh ji says, they are agents of BJP. How would they be serving them? Safai extravaganza. If that is the priority of the government of the day, it is for the people to see and judge for themselves. That a private fiefdom of Mulayam Singh Yadav has to be showered with this kind of an extravaganza at the cost of public sector, well, if that is right, let it be answered by them. Thirdly, as far as this junket is concerned, the appropriate authority to answer this is either the Speaker or the government of the day. Frankly, if you are aware of the parliamentary practices or the practices in the assembly, None of the members are supposed to take permission from the party to inform them as to where they're going and what is the schedule.
So
now,
will Simi Dwivedi be pulled up for... No, as a party, what is your stand? What will you say to Simi Dwivedi? Well, Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi is talking about the other SP MLAs. What about Simi Dwivedi? Some kind of a remark for your... At that point, you're not remembering parliamentary appropriateness.
Allow me to speak, ma'am.
No, you're not answering the question. How can I allow you to speak if you're not answering the question, Mr. Mittal?
If you're not allowing me to address the question, how can I speak? The simple fact remains, the details of what the junket is all about, whether it's a study tour or it's a tour for extravaganza, unless you have the details in front of you.
I'll ask you a simple question. I'll ask you a simple question.
Yes.
1 crore rupee has been spent.
Right.
Should your MLA have gone on this tour? There are 3 other members, one from the Congress party, one from the CPM, including Akhilesh Yadav, who withdrew from going on. So there was an option. I'm asking you a simple yes or no. Should your MLA have gone on the study tour?
No. I think you're being most unfair to the entire system when you want to present this in this without giving the context of it. 1 crore
What
being
is the
spent
context?
on what?
I'm asking you a simple question. When your party is declining the entire study tour, should your MLA have been part of the study tour or not? Simple yes or no. There was a choice given. You can always withdraw and say, I would not like to go. There have been instances in the past. Even in Karnataka, your own BJP MLAs refused to go on certain junkets in the past when they were asked to go to Australia and New Zealand. Why not in this case?
But unless the details of what the study tour is all about...
So you're not going to answer that question?
Whether it is worth going, not going...
No, you're not going to answer the question.
I'm not
let me bring in let me bring in some perspective. Mr. Subramaniam, the question also being asked is, some of these study tours are extremely important for people to have an interaction, so on and so forth. Our officers, bureaucracy, politicians need to see other systems in order to be able to govern better and do a better job at what their portfolios are in the country. Do you agree with that?
Look, there are 3 or 4 things wrong with it. I think that the people who take the decisions should not themselves be the beneficiaries. Public money is involved, there is not private money involved. So every rupee spent should be very, very carefully assessed as to where it goes, number 1. Number 2, I don't think there can be any dispute in the country that our legislators are not the most well informed in the world or in India. I don't think there can be any dispute about that. So I think excellent institutions are available in India, in Mussoorie, in Hyderabad, in Pune, everywhere. I think every MLA, MP should be given 3 to 6 months training, 18 hours a day, and on basics, Constitution 1, 2, 3, 4, number 1. Number 2, public money is spent now. For many, many years, it's being justified, saying that it has been approved by the Parliament as if Parliament is God. Now, has there been any evaluation by an independent agency, Indian or outside? What is the cost benefit of this over time? I bet hundreds of crores have been spent in the states and elsewhere. Number 2. Number 3, I think at a time when it is highly insensitive now at this time. At the best of times it is terrible, but now it is insensitive. I refuse to believe you go to Gold Coast or you go to Ankara and learn and go and see the Bosphorus and then have a fish there and decide how the government of Turkey is run. What a stupid way of learning how Turkey is run. I think that we need to review the whole situation. Give me, Maruf, 1 more second.
Please
on the other point that you mentioned, Mr. Mehrotra was there on the line. I caught one point which saddened me very much. He said that a very important annual event is taking place in Safai.
Yeah, I want to tell you that these are pictures coming from there.
Say, let it finish.
Ranveer Singh is also there.
He says, let it finish. He says, after that we'll give attention to MuzaffarNagar. As if last 3 months, the whole of government of Uttar Pradesh was waiting for the Safai festival to be over. I have so many other things to say, but I was wondering if his party heard him today and whether he will be like Farooqi, continue there as spokesman or not. I wonder about that.
Yeah, he's walking on a very tight rope at this point for all that he said, but he kept repeating the same answer. I want to bring in Shehzad Poonawala at this point. Shehzad, I want you to tell everybody who's listening at this point, they're talking about justifying study tours. They're talking about justifying these grand Bollywood finales and festivals that are happening. I want you, for everybody, to know what is happening in these camps. Very simply, how are the people suffering? Let's not get into the politics. Sure. For 1 minute, I want everybody to know how these people are suffering.
So let me tell you what is happening in Uttar Pradesh firsthand. It's a three-part process. One is denial, which was led by Mulayam Singh Yadav, who said that victims don't stay in these camps. But the truth is that 18,000 victims still stay in these 15 to 17 camps. Second step is Operation Cover Up, which means that right from District MuzaffarNagar, District Magistrate of MuzaffarNagar, who's been saying that all the camps have been vacated, everyone's gone back to their villages, nobody's being forced to evacuate, be evicted from there. Principal Secretary Home says nobody's dying of cold. This is Operation Cover Up that is in process. And then the third is culture of insensitivity. Culture of insensitivity means that instead of spending the vital resources that are there for getting milk, rations, blankets, and housing for these victims, instead of taking them to government buildings, you have 1 crore spent on fireworks, 1 crore spent on Madhuri's film, 4 crore spent on Safai, 1 crore spent on UP tour of MLAs.
No, but tell
so
me,
totally 6-7 crores
for a riot hit victim who is in MuzaffarNagar tonight, what are the kind of conditions that he or she is living in?
So the riot hit victims are braving temperatures of 2 degrees Celsius in tarpaulin sheets. They have no lighting, leave alone heating. They have no rations. They have no milk for the kids because 50% of the population is kids. They have no basic infrastructure like toilets, and now there is no education facilities for the children. All they are being taught, although teaching of Quran is very, very good, they are only getting that teaching. They are not getting teaching of English or basic mathematics. These basic necessities are not being delivered to them, nor has compensation reached them, nor has justice reached them because the UP police hasn't acted on cases. And may I just make one quick point about this junket? One just quick point. They are saying it's a Commonwealth tour, but they are going to countries like Venice, Rome, Greece, which are not even part of the Commonwealth, and they are going. I have the itinerary. The itinerary includes sightseeing and local visiting of local places. So it's not a study tour.
I want to focus more as we see these pictures coming in from Saifai, where that grand finale is happening with all Bollywood stars. Just remember that in MuzaffarNagar there are riot victims who are living in the kind of abysmal conditions that they are. I want to bring in Sanjay Jha at this point. Sanjay Jha, first a very quick question. You should be perhaps, I'm sure the Congress is very happy at this point that Pradeep Mathur of your party withdrew from going on the study tour.
It's not a question of feeling happy. I think it's an extremely tragic state of affairs about it. Honestly, I think the Samajwadi Party government has been in denial for a considerable period of time. And you know what is a monumental shame is the fact that firstly there were enough warnings about the MuzaffarNagar riots. They happened. Everybody knows it was manufactured. Riots in India, after some kind of an initial trigger, gets manufactured by parties which are playing their own political game. I don't want to enter any politics here, but it was. And thereafter, in the camps, in the relief camps, almost an equal number of helpless children and families have died. And the fact that you're seeing such a brazen degree of callousness is a tragedy. So I think the fact that one Congress legislator pulled out is not relevant.
Yeah,
I think this is a moment for a national,
agreed, you're not
national
happy.
shame, actually.
So you're not, it's a national shame, of course, that the Samajwadi Party's MLAs have gone. I want to ask you, what happened in Karnataka? Agreed, one Congress MLA in Uttar Pradesh withdrew, but what happened in Karnataka? 2.25 crores were spent. The main reason for going was to study waterfalls. Waterfalls in three countries.
The best of my knowledge,
no, 1 second, let me finish. 2.25 crores were spent. It has been investigated and debated enough. Your government in Karnataka and your chief minister said, to quote him, why are you making it a big issue? Then, Malikaya Guttedar, I hope I pronounce his name right, who heads the legislature's estimates committee, because they had given the sanction, he said, we are not committing a big crime. Don't you send school children on vacation? Why not send MLAs and MPs also on vacation? Your party, Sanjay Jha, Congress party.
Maruk, let me
Today you're pointing fingers at the Samajwadi Party. There's...
Can I answer?
Why not? So it is different rules in different states.
You can't compare apples and apricots. You know what you are talking
apples
about
and apricots?
MuzaffarNagar is one of the...
One apple goes for 1 crore, the other apple goes for 2.25 crores. Where are the apricots?
No, 1 minute. Maru, can you give me a minute to
Sure.
finish, please?
That's the
The
parallel
point I'm
trying to be
making,
very
you're
quick.
talking about MuzaffarNagar today, the country is talking about it, because what you have witnessed is terrible riots that have been allowed to happen. Deaths have been permitted freely to happen in relief camps. Children have died. The government denied it actually in the initial stages. They pretended as if everything was hunky dory. 1 minute. In the light of that, what you have
50
seen is
taluks
something
in Karnataka are
insensitive and
seeing the
callous.
worst ever drought. 50 taluks in Karnataka are seeing the worst ever drought. There is your comparison. There you go, apples in Uttar Pradesh and apples in Karnataka, or lack of thereof. We are not talking
all
without
I can tell you
context.
is the most important part.
That
Now listen, let me tell you,
2.25
the
crore
most
rupees
important
was
part
spent
is the
despite
monies-
50 taluks in Karnataka being facing the worst ever drought. And despite that,
Well, all I
Malikai
can...
Guttardar says,
Yes,
when
carry on.
children can go on vacation, why can't MPs and MLAs also go on vacation? He's not even qualifying it as a study tour. He's saying they're going on vacation. Simple.
Well, all I can tell you here in very simple terms is the fact that today, and you know, we can try and make this political. I can make it political by telling you right now on your program. I don't want to do that. But I can tell you
Mr.
right
Jha,
now that you have a prime ministerial designate.
politicians make
1
it
minute, you should
political.
also raise this
You
point.
have raised-
There's a bigger point to be raised. That the prime ministerial designate of the Bharatiya Janata Party has not even uttered a word of remorse on what happened in MuzaffarNagar. I think that's a more pertinent point to discuss. I can tell you as far as Karnataka is concerned, it should not have happened. I have got no qualms in telling you upfront on your channel. But you can hear the BJP spokesperson trying to rationalize even the departure of a BJP MLA in this trip, even as they are taking self-righteous positions on the television show. But I think the bigger point here is that the Samajwadi Party government has
and
been
then you go ahead and
extremely
make one.
callous
I want to
and
bring in
brazen here.
Sudhindra Badoria also from the BSP. Mr. Badoria, BSP is also, of course, going to condemn what the Samajwadi Party Netas are doing, and along with them, the RLD and the SP Netas as well. During your time, 7,000 crore rupees of taxpayers' money was spent on memorials, statues, parks. Are you still going to condemn this study tour?
I think this amount was less given the 2,500 years of history. The exploitation and oppression and subjugation of the Dalits and OBCs, if memorials were made, it was justified. But today, when in MuzaffarNagar,
7,000 crores spent on memorials is justified. Half of them are not even being...
If you want to speak, if you want to listen to your own voice, please go ahead. Don't let me speak.
Mr. Badoria, please do not get agitated. Please go ahead.
No,
please
but
do
let
not
me
get
complete
agitated.
you have asked me a question and you are not letting me answer it also.
Please go
that
ahead.
is the whole thing. So
You went into history, that's why I said.
MuzaffarNagar today. No, yes, of course, why not? Because if two Dalit memorials have been created of Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, Manevar Kashiram, Mahatma Phule, Sant Kabir Das, and the likes of them in this country, there is opposition to it from the elite, from the super elite particularly. And let me
Ambedkar used to hate idol worship, and Baba Saheb Ambedkar invested all his earnings in creating libraries. If you wanted to create a memorial, you should have built the largest library in the name of Ambedkar, Phule and Shahu, of whom even we are disciples coming from Maharashtra. You would have built the biggest library and the biggest hospital for them with the 2,500 crores, no 25,000 crores. You could have built hospitals, you could have built playgrounds, you could have built libraries.
Okay, let him finish. He's getting very agitated.
I think this whole debate is being digressed. I have a viewpoint. You are free to have your own viewpoint. What I am trying to
But
say
Mr. Badoria, you
is
can't go into history and justify what you have done. During the BSP rule, there might not have been too many people who went on a study tour, but you spent more than enough money of the taxpayers.
You have raised a question on history, Maru. You have raised a question on history. You have raised a question why Dalit...
Does history justify spending 7,000 crores on statues and parks?
Yes, it is justified.
Half of which are not even being used. Okay, fine. So it is being justified. Similarly,
yes,
Samajwadi Party is going to say that they are completely justified in spending 1 crore rupees for entertainment.
They can spend whatever money. They have not spent 1 crore rupees. There are people who have been flown in. There are people who have been flown out. Today, in MuzaffarNagar, over 1 lakh people have been rendered homeless. over 40 children have been reported dead because of lack of medicine and other facilities. There is encephalitis in Gorakhpur. There are farmers committing suicide in Bundelkhand as well as in the western UP.
Mr. Bhadoria, the track record has been no different during Mayawati's rule. I want to bring in, I want to bring in some perspective because everybody is indulging in politics as was expected. Mr. Subramaniam, there seems to be a sense of entitlement as far as politicians are concerned. Some say it is justified to spend taxpayers' money on statues and parks. Some say it's justified to send people on study tours.
I feel that the many political parties, I don't want to name which parties, feel that they now are free. They don't have to worry about public opinion or everybody's opinion. They feel that media, the newspapers, the civil society can say what they want. My vote is there, my vote is there. I have got a fixed vote bank here, fixed vote bank there. I can count on 10% here, add 1%, on the bribe 3%. I got 17-18%. I got. Now, this is a very wretched calculation which is going on right now. In other words, there's a complete mismatch between, I mean, how insensitive can you be? Politics is all about gestures, it is all symbolism. I mean, I would have expected, for example, the Chief Minister of UP to have said, it is an old tradition, I don't want to break it. I will come for the inauguration date, but I will not participate in all
Look
the
at those are live pictures, by the way.
So many things which
those are live pictures coming in from Saifai.
And lastly, spare a thought. In my house, I am shivering. In Delhi with the heater. Spare a thought of 1 lakh people in MuzaffarNagar. In 2014, is this the best that we can do for the victims of the riots?
One quick question from Sudhanshu Mittal. 2014. Spare a thought, Mr. Mittal. Spare a thought for the people.
Maruf, I have just two observations to make. First, it is nauseating when Mr. Subramaniam talks, because as Chief Secretary, as Cabinet Secretary of this country, did he or did he not allow hundreds of officers of the Government of India to go for study leave abroad when we have such good universities in India? He was a silent spectator to that.
Let him finish, you can
allow me to finish. And I have just heard the two Congress spokesmen talking about MuzaffarNagar and how pitiable the condition is there, which I also believe is shocking. But as a responsible government in the centre,
quickly, I have to allow Mr. Subramaniam to respond. I'm running out of time. Mr. Subramaniam, 30 seconds.
I think studies are important, but
let him respond. You made a serious charge. Let him respond, Mr. Mittal.
But every study has to be reviewed, evaluated, benefits obtained, lessons heard. Now, have these studies in various states, have they been evaluated?
Okay, I'm running out of time to Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP. Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP, Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party, TSR Subramaniam, Sudhendra Bhadoria and Shehzad Poonawala. Thank you so much for joining me on Newsnight this evening. I just want to leave you with one thought. Today, as these pictures that we were seeing from Saifai, as the Bollywood extravaganza continues, as the Netas are in Europe, enjoying the study tour, perhaps learning something also in the process, I just want to leave you with one thought. The UP Home Secretary A.K. Gupta said, when he was told of children's deaths in MuzaffarNagar because of the cold, he said, how is that possible? Because people live in Siberia and it is very cold. So how can children die of the cold? Just going to leave you with that thought, even as these celebrations continue in Saifai. Center stage coming up next with Rahul Kamal. Stay with us.